Imagine this. You're at an extremely fancy restaurant and you've just got done with your meal and now you're hungry for a dessert. You pick up the dessert menu and you survey it, and you finally decide to indulge yourself in chocolate cake. And this chocolate cake is very delicious, but you might actually be surprised to find that this chocolate cake was made with the help of a 3D printer. But you might also be even more surprised to understand that fruits and vegetables can also be used to make food using 3D printing. Roughly 1/3 of food produced for human consumption is lost or wasted globally, which amounts to 1.3 billion tons of food per year. Food can be wasted throughout the supply chain. However, most food is wasted at the consumption stage. A large majority of this food is wasted due to imperfect appearance, meaning it may be oddly shaped or bruised, but still perfectly good to eat. One of the causes for food waste is poor planning by consumers who may not check the best by dates and throw away food that is close to that date. Another cause for food waste is that it is just cheaper and easier to throw food away than it is to recycle. Researchers are looking for safe and beneficial ways to use food that would have otherwise been thrown away. One of these innovative ways that people are repurposing food is through 3D printing. Quite a bit of research has been done concerning the technological possibilities of 3D printing food, and it is currently possible to print using products such as sugar, chocolate, and vegetable purees. In October of 2018, a Dutch student named Elisabeth van Delleweerde proved that she could replicate this process using bread. During Elisabeth's final year of college, she came up with the idea of utilizing 3D printing to upcycle the most wasted food product in her country, bread. Elisabeth mashed old bread and added spices and herbs to create a printable food paste. She then programmed the printer to a geometric shape and injected the paste into the printer. She then pressed print, and what emerged was something that resembled a cracker. She then baked and dehydrated it to preserve it. She had just created a yummy snack for free. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. Who's going to eat old bread, fruits, and vegetables in the form of a cracker? Kids don't like vegetables anyways. You say to your children, eat your Brussels sprouts, to which they reply, aw, do I have to? But now you can say, eat your recycled food waste cracker. Well, maybe that doesn't actually help after all, but the truth is, these printable foods can be designed to taste better than they did in their original form, while adding the same level of nutrition. Now, you might not be familiar with the product of 3D printing, so why don't we get familiar with the history behind 3D printing? Dana Goldberg cites that 3D printing, or additive manufacturing technology, has been around since the Reagan era. In 1981, the first solid printable model was created. Then, in 1984, inventor Charles Hull designed the technology that would help create 3D models. This technology advanced rapidly, and in 1999, the first 3D printed organ was placed in the body of a human. Over the past few years, the first 3D printed unmanned aircraft has been flown, and finally, even NASA is interested in using 3D printing technology and is trying to design the first 3D printer for space. Well, I bet George Lucas never thought of that. Now that we know a little bit more about the history behind 3D printing, let's get back to its use in renewing food sources. As stated before, the world wastes about 1/3 of its food supply. But what are the causes of such waste? A study on the cause and prevention of food waste revealed the following. In medium and higher income nations, the largest loss is due to food being thrown away. In poorer countries, food is lost during production and processing. But there are also other reasons for food waste. In 2009, Tristram Stewart toured several carrot farms in Great Britain. She discovered that nearly 30% of carrots are rejected from market due to blemishes or some deformity. These otherwise nutritious carrots were never used for humans because of the way that they looked. What a waste. Another reason for the cause of food waste is that it's just easier to throw food away than it is to recycle. But what if, instead of being thrown out or given to animals, this food was reprinted and used to feed the hungry? Just imagine it. What would happen if the United States of America and the rest of the Western world took their time to gather up all the food that is described as just deformed and so it doesn't look good on the shelves? What if they took that food, printed it into a cracker type form like Elizadende did, and then distribute it to the other areas of the world that really need food? Just think about it. We could virtually end world hunger. Not only could we virtually end world hunger with the use of 3D printing, but now there's also 4D printing. Now, 4D printing is virtually 3D printing. However, 4D printing reacts to time. Now, imagine with me that you have a loaf of bread that is about the size of the palm of your hand. You put that bread into the microwave, and in just a few minutes, that bread has actually grown to be the same size as a normal loaf of bread. That loaf of bread that was the size of your hand reacted to the heat in the microwave. That's the difference between 3D printing and 4D printing. 4D printing reacts to time and to other elements such as heat or water or the cold, whereas 3D printing just stays stagnant. It just keeps its shape. So, to sum up, we have explored what 3D printing is. We've explored the history of 3D printing, and we've learned how it can be applied to our modern day world. We have also briefly glimpsed at what 4D printing is as well. Food engineers like Elizadende von Delaweerd are proving that we are on the verge of changing history. While the reprinting of foods that are typically thrown out might not completely eliminate food waste, it is most certainly a step in the right direction, and we've definitely seen that here today. So the next time that you're at that fancy restaurant and you get another piece of chocolate cake or another slice of dessert, just think, that could be a 3D printed product that was just made in that restaurant's kitchen.